Hello and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I'm James Currie with the Communications Department, and I'm talking to Harold Jones, and he is with our Tobacco Prevention Program. So, how are you doing?
Doing great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Uh, we're going to be talking about a subject that you and I know very well. You and I have worked on several different projects for this program. We'll talk a little bit about a couple of those videos that you and I did, um, and how significant actually they were pretty significant as far as their messaging. So um, first, let's talk about the SWOT program and how you're involved with that and what the SWOT program is.
Well, I am the youth tobacco coordinator. So basically, I coordinate um, four area high schools. SWOT stands for Students Working Against Tobacco. So
Mhm.
it's just what it is. I have high school students who serve as peer educators within fourth through eighth grade. And these students are selected by a school sponsor at their prospective schools. They are interviewed, and it's a process they go through. And many of them have a story on the impact of tobacco in their own personal lives, which make them great um, mentors and educators concerning this. But basically, they go out and present an interactive session, PowerPoint led, to students. And they get a great response from the young people. The young people are very open to talk to them and dialogue with them about their experiences as far as how their families have been affected and seeking information. The main concern, the focus with the SWOT program is to deter their peers from initiating in tobacco use, as well as educating them about secondhand smoke, third-hand smoke, and being advocates within the community to let everyone know that the young people are looking forward to accomplishing their goals. And so therefore, tobacco has no place in their lives right now.
Excuse me. Yeah, I touched just a moment ago on those videos. One of the most recent videos that you and I did, the setting was Halloween, and I was the guy at the door passing out the treats, and the
Yes.
treats were uh, tobacco that was sweetened with different scents and flavors. I thought that video was pretty effective, but the reasoning behind it obviously is that because big tobacco tries to get their customers as young as possible. So I know that's why you're, going into the schools at those grade levels with the SWAT program. So I know you've got some props there with you. Can you show some of those props that you show to the kids when you go to the schools?
Well, yes. One is, well, we try to help them understand that with this amount, for every, you have 20 individual cigarettes in a pack, and you can see the amount of tar per cigarette that goes into the lung of the smoker. That tar ends up looking like this.
Hold that cigarette
And we
back
can
up.
see we
Hold
can
that.
see how thick that is. And this is what actually leads to when we talk about emphysema and the onset of a lot of other illnesses. A person with COPD, within 2 weeks, this is the amount of phlegm that they will cough up. So which is also pretty thick. And all these things coming from the tobacco products, that chemicals being infused with the tobacco in itself, and the concern really about nicotine, which when you talk about a young person brain yet developing, these are the things they need to stay away from. But the tobacco company has put these things out here so much, like if you think of a type of candy, they got a flavored tobacco product named or mocking that particular candy product, whether it's Skittles, vanilla wafers, whatever you name it. They have their packaging look just the same. They'll tell you it tastes that way, and that becomes confusing to young people sometimes.
Hold that cigarette back up again. I wanted to kind of point something out because I don't know if it'd be easy to see or hard to see, but that's almost the whole entire cigarette that's filled with tar. And if
Yes,
I don't know if you can see the liquid there as the example, but
right there at
um,
the line.
yeah, it's almost the whole entire thing, almost to the filter. So that's a pretty jarring example right there. Um, Now I know you have one more prop there. That's kind of my favorite to show people when they go to the dentist. So you want to show them that one?
Well, we have Mr. Grossmouth. And Mr. Grossmouth, remember, tobacco comes in a whole variety of forms. The tobacco company target you everything from the traditional cigarette to the cigarillos to the e-cigarettes to the dip and chews. And this little white patch here is called leukoplakia. And if a young person tend to see that, then that is the onset. That means you have cancer in the mouth. And the way they're going to remove that is cutting that out. Not just this, but you may lose part of your tongue, you may lose that jaw. And that means that you have to think the jaw is the support here. So that young person all of a sudden is not going to look the same. So that's a big mess up to your self-esteem when you start so early, get involved with these things, and all of a sudden when you see how your looks have changed, a lot of people really want to stop, but it's hard to stop because of the nicotine. And that in itself is one of the major things, because now they're living the rest of their life in a sense in an unhappy situation, whether it's because they're physically ill, they're not breathing quite as well, they're not looking like they really used to look, looking older before time, things of that nature. This is what the young people are trying to say. Hey, we're out in school trying to accomplish our goals. We love the opportunity to help our communities, not just about the tobacco thing, but we want to see everyone accomplish their goal. This is one product we haven't found one positive use for.
And we're also thankful too for the dentists that we work with, and the dentist that alert the patient when they go in and they do an oral exam or a check, and they see those things like that. They can kind of counsel them about tobacco.
Yes, that's one
Yeah.
great thing, because a lot of times young people don't know, they don't see the immediate
Mhm.
weakening of the gum line and things of that nature, but everything from increasing the cavities. You're brushing your teeth, but you're taking those chemicals right in. And remember, dip is put right belong to the cheek and gum line. And
Mhm.
it actually has little grits in there that will cut the gum. So that juice gets in and given an opportunity for everything from, like we say, oral cancers
Mhm.
to throat cancers, esophageal cancers. So um, that's something that we if we really want to talk about how to get rid of cancer, one thing on this end is to say no to the tobacco use of
Mhm.
any kind, because it's not just a dip, but whether you're smoking, whether you're vaping, we even know that has shown, yes, it's saying there are three main components in every type of tobacco product, and that is cancer causing agents, toxic metals, and poisonous gases, even in e-cigarettes.
Now you mentioned e-cigarettes and electronic cigarettes. We're going through a pandemic right now, and there's still people vaping. There's still people out in public vaping, and that vapor cloud going all over the place, carrying those particles. But there is a health relationship between the coronavirus and vaping. Can you kind of touch a little bit on that?
Well, they use the term vaping, but in actuality, it's not a vape. It's a mixture of gas and liquid because of the liquid chemicals. Remember, with an cigarette, an electronic cigarette, which basically is an electronic nicotine delivery system, but they're taking that juice, putting it in, allowing it to be heated up by the battery and the heating coil, and that produces an aerosol, not a vape, but an aerosol. And be it that it is a mixture, it does expand and carry out and create third hand smoke. So a lot of times people think they're not affected by it, but with any type of tobacco product, what I've come to see is the reduction in oxygen level and increase in blood flow. So there are some effects that lets you know that there's some changes going on in the body. And we've seen that young people who vape are more easily to catch the COVID-19. If they're vaping, whoever it might be, but if you're vaping and it makes you easier to be a victim of the COVID-19 because you've weakened your system. And we know that this is something you have to, if you're in the atmosphere of it, but you already have a compromised system, and e-cigarettes do compromise your system. It compromises your breathing because it affects with your lungs. And so that's one thing you really, because of the COVID, we might want to be encouraged even the more to step away from the vape at this time.
Excuse me. Now, here before we wrap up, um, I know we talked about a few different subjects here, and we encourage people to go and seek more information on the things that we discuss, the programs and the information on vaping and the coronavirus. So, can you mention a few resources where people can go to get this information?
Well, one of the first resources is right here at the Mobile County Health Department, whether it's on our website or contacting, you can call 544-2064. You will get assistance that way here through the health department. Um, I can personally help you with a Quitline, and also refer to the Alabama Quitline, which is 784-8669. The Alabama Quitline has seven different types of NRTs, nicotine replacement therapy. And that's what it is. If you're addicted to this, you need treatment, you need therapy to help you, along with a nice quit plan that you can stick to help you combat the addiction.
And that's also 1-800-QUIT-NOW is the
Yes.
other number. And then you've given your number here at the health department. And I know there's a lot more information also too on the Alabama Department of Public Health website, which is alabamapublichealth.gov, and of course our own website, mchd.org. Um, Harold, anything else you'd like to add in before we wrap up?
Just want to encourage each and every person to know that it is a choice, but making that choice one time can cause and lead to a lifelong addiction. And each year we have over 480,000 deaths due to this one particular product. Out of this product, multitude of cancers, all types of illnesses, from COPD to emphysema to strokes, heart attacks. It is one product that causes a multitude of illnesses. And one thing we can do to keep and prevent those illnesses and see a drop is to say no to tobacco.
All right. Well, Harold, I appreciate your time, and of course, you're always a invaluable resource, and you know this this program back to front, and I appreciate you sharing your information with everyone. And thanks for coming on Wellness Wednesday.
Well, thank you for having me.
All right. Thanks a lot.